There are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have well over 250 actually.
The Epstein files. There is so much buzz that's going around right now over the Epstein files, and we want to see who is on the list. We want to see who is going back and forth to the Epstein Island. We want to know. People have waited for this information for a long time, and President Trump's administration has promised that they'll go ahead and they'll release the files. They've already done it for JFK. They've done it for Martin Luther King Jr. Now they're going to do this for the Jeffrey Epstein files. And we waited a long time. We want to see what type of evidence or information they have. From what I'm understanding, there is even video. Jeffrey Epstein had video of hidden cameras, I guess, of people doing God knows what. And we want to know, man, we want to see who is guilty of these heinous crimes. I do fully understand that maybe not everyone that's on this list is guilty, but I'm sure a lot of them are guilty of just some crazy stuff, man. Stuff that's disgusting. They released some of the files to influencers, social media influencers, and people on social media are upset about it because we as the public, we just want to see the files. Just release them. I don't know, set up a website where you can have the PDF documents there. We can download them. We can go ahead and take a look at them ourselves. But there's some influencers who are talking about they're going to do some lives. They're going to go over it, so on and so forth. But from what I understand, they only got part of the information. So this is phase one, I guess. So I'm going to go back to an interview with Pam Bondi, who was discussing, hey, we're going to be releasing these files. So this is before the release of phase one today. So let's just go over what she's talking about, and then we'll take a look at what X, the app formerly known as Twitter. Let's see what the people have to say. Let's take a look.
Attorney General Pam Bondi is here now. One of the things a lot of people are wondering, because you said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk, is when can we see them and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have well over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah, what you're going to see hopefully tomorrow is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information, but it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well,
along with his co-defendant.
Absolutely, and he had help. That's for sure.
He sure did.
Well, thanks for joining us. You probably have to get to bed because you got a huge day tomorrow with this Epstein.
People are upset that the influencers have been given this this binder that has information pertaining to Jeffrey Epstein. From what I understand, there is a lot more information that has not been released yet. There's a lot of conflicting stories that's happening right now. But for me, this thing is just not a good look the way it played out. You have these influencers in front of the White House posing with this binder. I mean, as if it's, I don't know, man, like it's their degree, like their, high school diploma or their college degree. They're happy, or it's a comic book, old school comic book that they always wanted and they finally got it. This is no laughing matter. This right here, just the optics of it just doesn't look good. It's not a good look. So let's take a quick look here about the things pertaining to the Jeffrey Epstein release of the binders and the information that's not released. There's a lot of stuff going on. Let's go to this first video so you can actually take a look at the influencers at the White House as they leave, as they depart the White House. You see them with the Jeffrey Epstein files, the binders, and just take a look. Take a look.
Flight logs tied to accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein have been released to some conservative political commentators. They walked out of the White House holding binders labeled the Epstein files. Now, it's not clear what's inside the binders and whether they'll be released to other media outlets. President Trump signed an executive order ordering that the files be released, but Attorney General Pam Bondi says the FBI hasn't turned over everything, and she's expecting more files tomorrow. Epstein was known for socializing with billionaires, celebrities, and royalty. He was awaiting trial on federal charges when he was found dead in his cell in 2019.
Okay, so you saw the influencers leaving the White House with their binders. They look very happy. Like I said, like it was some type of celebratory situation where you actually have, these are heinous crimes. The things that this man has done is just, it's disgusting. And we're finding out there's 200 to 250 victims. We want to know who also is involved in this whole thing, this whole sex trafficking situation. We've waited a long time. So once again, I'm not mad that we have to wait just a little bit longer to get the information. I just don't think that this looks good. The optics with the influencers holding the binders outside of the White House. It's not what we expected, man. We expected maybe a government website where they, uploaded all the documents for us to go ahead and download, or at the very least view ourselves as concerned citizens. So let's take a look at, this is one of the influencers explaining what's happening here.
Hey guys, this is Savannah Hernandez in front of the White House with, yes, one of those Epstein file binders. Now, I want to clear something up immediately and state that nobody from the Trump admin gave us these binders and said, you guys are going to be the ones responsible for disseminating this information. They actually told us that there's going to be a press conference at any moment now, most likely this afternoon, in which all of the information in this binder is made available to the American public. Now, Pam this morning stated to us that some of the information in here is already public, and she doesn't really feel that any of this information is a smoking gun. The big story here is Pam writing a letter to Kash Patel asking him to investigate why the FBI has stopped the release of other portions of the Epstein files. So that is what is currently going on, and I wanted to come out as a journalist as well and state that, again, we are not responsible for deciding what does or does not come out. All of the information in this binder will be made public. Pam Bondi herself stated that she wants all of the Epstein files to be made public to the American people, not just to influencers or independent journalists, but that in itself has been a process. Now, one of the reasons why I have this is because the Trump admin right now is making a big push for not only transparency, but being welcoming to independent journalists who might have been looked down on, ignored, or even censored over the last 4 years. This administration is making a big push right now to allow American people to come into the Oval Office, to come into the White House and directly talk to the president, the vice president, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, RFK Jr. about what they are going to be doing for the American people. So it's really interesting to see how this administration is handling the media and allowing independent people, American citizens, to come into the Oval Office and talk directly to highest members of the administration. So I wanted to give you guys my update on this. There will be a press conference. All of this will be made public.
Okay. I like the fact that the White House is letting independent journalists have a bigger presence in this administration. So that to me is fantastic. It sounds like there is some type of miscommunication. As you can see, I'll slide myself back over here. All right. It sounds like there's some miscommunication of what's going on with these files. So she had referenced Pam Bondi sending an email over to Kash Patel at the FBI. I don't know if there's a communication situation with them, a miscommunication between Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, but I don't know. Let's take a look. This particular news outlet here that I'm about to show you, they actually have a copy of the email, and they're going to go ahead and read it off.
Welcome back into Live Now from Fox, where we are following some breaking news regarding documents detailing some of the crimes committed by Jeffrey Epstein. Taking a look here at a post from Fox News on X in which they say Epstein files : Pam Bondi sends fiery note to Kash Patel accusing FBI of withholding docs. So according to Fox News, Attorney General Pam Bondi sending that letter to FBI Director Kash Patel today, accusing federal investigators in New York of withholding thousands of pages of Jeffrey Epstein documents she has vowed to make public. Now, I do have a copy of that letter that was obtained by Fox News. A live now look at the Capitol building as I read to you what the Attorney General had to say. She goes on to say this: Dear Director Patel, before you came into office, I requested the full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. In response to this request, I received approximately 200 pages of documents, which consisted primarily in flight logs, Epstein's list of contacts, and a list of victims' names and phone numbers. I repeatedly questioned whether this was the full set of documents responsive to my request and was repeatedly assured by the FBI that we had received the full set of documents. Late yesterday, I learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated requests, the FBI never disclosed the existence of these files. When you and I spoke yesterday, you were just as surprised as I was to learn of this new information. She goes on to say by 8 a.m. tomorrow, February 28th, the FBI will deliver the full and complete Epstein files to my office, including all records, documents, audio and video recordings, and materials related to Jeffrey Epstein and his clients, regardless of how much information was obtained. There will be no withholdings or limitations to my or your access. The Department of Justice will ensure that any public disclosure of these files will be done in a manner to protect the privacy of victims and in accordance with law, as I have done my entire career as a prosecutor. Finally, she says, I am also directing you to conduct an immediate investigation into why my order to the FBI was not followed. You will deliver to me a comprehensive report of your findings and proposed personnel action within 14 days. I appreciate your immediate attention to this important matter. I know that we are both committed to transparency for the American people, and I look forward to continuing to work with you to serve our president and our country. And then it's signed, Sincerely, Pam Bondi. Now, you may remember that Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, she was the one who swore in FBI Director Kash Patel, as you see from this video just a couple of weeks ago. Just to reiterate here, a Fox News reporting that the Attorney General saying that she had requested the full Epstein case file before Kash Patel was confirmed as the head of the FBI and received about 200 pages of those files, far less than a number of pages released last year in a civil lawsuit connected to Ghislaine Maxwell, the trafficker's former lover and convicted accomplice. She said the FBI had never disclosed the existence of those files and demanded that they be turned over by Friday morning, 8 a.m. Friday morning Eastern time, in accordance to that letter. I do want to bring up some more reaction posts on X from several Congress members, representatives, several lawmakers here. The first one being Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, saying the Epstein list is going to be released and much more is coming. There's currently a war raging within. The resistance within will be beaten and the truth will be revealed. I'm so proud of AG Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash, both warriors.
Okay, so it sounds like, man, there is, it sounds like either there's a miscommunication what's going on, or it sounds like, maybe even Kash Patel is it just sounds like there is at least miscommunication here, or maybe Kash Patel is not given all of the information. Obviously, he hasn't been in his role very long. But this right here is very important. But we're gonna read here what Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying. The Epstein list is going to be released, and much more is coming. There is currently a war raging within. There is currently a war raging within. The resistance within will be beaten, and the truth will be revealed. I am so proud of Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. What is going on? What exactly is going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to this information? But obviously, it's things that she can't, expound on. I mean, she can give us this little bit of information, and then we have to kind of, read between the lines, I guess, or try to decipher this ourselves to see what this means. But there's people that don't want this information released. At least that's the way I see it. So, man, this is crazy. What are we going to get? Who is on these lists, man? Like, who this is crazy. This is crazy.
And so we'll continue to follow this very closely, because again, this letter is calling for all of those documents to be handed over by 8 in the morning, Friday, February 28th. And we'll be following the latest, and we'll bring it to you here on Live Now from Fox. Fox News is saying that sensitive information about the victims will still be redacted before anything is publicly released. That's according to AG Pam Bondi. She also ordered an internal investigation again into the issue and told Patel to propose, quote, personnel action within 2 weeks. A Live Now look at the Capitol building once again over in Washington, D.C. as we follow the latest developments with that breaking story.
Okay. I want to go back to this right here, man. This right here is getting crazy. This is getting crazy. A lot of people were confused by the influencers getting these binders with the information of Epstein in it, and it didn't look right? So now we're starting to uncover it a little bit. Obviously, there was a miscommunication, or there is some pushback behind behind the walls of the White House, man. People are fighting this information, but I believe we're going to get the information, all the information. Well, maybe not all the information, but I think we're going to get more information than we've had over the last few years, and I think it's going to be startling what we see. I think we're going to be surprised, man, or maybe not, man. Maybe some of us had this thing all figured out already, with certain individuals that potentially could be, guilty of, whatever crimes, man. It's, sex trafficking crimes. This right here is, man, this right here is crazy. This right here is crazy. We as the citizens, man, we thought we were going to get all this information today, and now there just looks like there's all type of confusion and orders that were not executed. Obviously, Pam Bondi does not sound like she's very happy. She is asking for answers from Kash Patel, the head of the FBI. Man, I'm waiting just like the rest of you, man. What exactly is on those Jeffrey Epstein files, man? What are on the tapes? What other information do they have? Wow, this is stay tuned. This is getting crazy. If you can imagine that, this situation is getting even more crazier. So